Welcome once again to Pipebomb Wrestling Radio. I'm Curse, and my co-hosts are...
Hector Diaz.
And I'm Subway. I'm back, guys. How you guys doing?
We also have a few other people, but I'm not sure if they want to give out their names.
I'm just a fan.
Just a fan as well.
Fan of the podcast.
Okay, we have 3 fans of the podcast.
Carlos Sanchez.
We have our wrestling signs up. You can't see them.
Going incognito with this. And we just witnessed the 2013 Royal Rumble. Opinions? Who thought well of the show? Who thought badly of the show?
I don't want to say it's predictable because there was a reason I wanted to watch this, but yeah, it was pretty predictable.
What do you think of the show? No opinions?
I mean, I thought it was pretty predictable, like Subway said. I mean, there's a reason I still watched it. The Rumble itself was a little lackluster because it was in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
And the fact that the Rumble was before Rock Punk or Punk Rock just really solidified the fact that Rock was going to win eventually. And I mean, he did.
Which is yeah, I mean, you could say they took the predictable route, but they played on the fans' expectations a bit, like I really didn't expect that they would be that predictable, so by being predictable they were unpredictable in my mind, at least,
That's true.
Because I did feel something different was going to happen. I felt somebody else was going to win the Rumble. It wasn't going to be the obvious choice, which we'll get to. And once we run down the matches, first of all, the pre-show match, it was Antonio Cesaro. He beat The Miz. It was a U.S. title match, and Cesaro beat The Miz after The Miz kind of landed really nasty. This top rope spot that The Miz did kind of landed really weird. I'm not sure if it was part of the show, but a few minutes later it ended up being neutralized around The Miz, 1, 2, 3 pin, and that was it. And they brought up the fact later on in the Royal Rumble match about The Miz being injured and some leg problem or something. I don't know.
Ankle.
Yeah. So any thoughts?
I didn't see that matchup. I came during the Last Man Standing match.
Yeah, which was the first match of the night.
Yeah, I mean, I heard originally that the pre-show was going to be the NXT guys vying for that spot in the Rumble, but I mean, the pre-show is usually just a bunch of U.S. title matches at this point, right?
Yeah.
We've had like 3 since they started doing that.
I think so.
The ending was a little surprising. I wasn't sure if it was like a legit injury because it seemed like such a clean victory for Cesaro, and the fact of the matter is The Miz kind of has unsuccessfully been turning face.
Yeah,
so you kind of need something to help him out, but at the same time, Cesaro's been like viewed as his like dominant champion. I mean, almost in the shadow of like CM Punk's 400 and something days streak. He has like 100 days. Yeah, which is good. But at the end of the I don't like the ending because The Miz really doesn't gain anything from it after having that. That rub with Ric Flair and kind of handing him like that the figure 4 leg lock.
Even though he kind of did botch it last Monday.
Oh yeah, I mean whatever.
Yeah, but still, I'm sure they wanted Flair to give The Miz the rub, and it just doesn't seem to be working. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if they're just gonna give up on the whole Miz being face project and probably turn him heel. I see that coming up though. I'm pretty sure if crowd don't get behind them, I'm sure they're just gonna turn them heel again.
Definitely, but they gotta distance The Miz from Flair, because at this point, I mean, can you really see people boo Ric Flair? He's a nostalgia act now. I mean, he's been for a while, but
a very long time.
Yeah, but you can't see him as a heel, the way he was in WCW way back when,
like in '95
or in his old territory.
I totally understand. I totally agree with that. Any thoughts on Miz in particular?
No comment.
No comment.
That's his everything.
Yeah, that's everything. Okay, so first pay-per-view match officially was Alberto Del Rio versus The Big Show for the World Heavyweight title. Last man standing. Of course, they went through. I think they went through the same spot that Cena did to Batista, which was pretty much tie Big Show up with duct tape, so he could stay down for 10 seconds.
Yeah,
and that was it. Any thoughts on that? Del Rio retained, of course.
I liked it. I mean, it was a little comedic, but the fact that ADR is really over, and the fact that he has Ricardo Rodriguez still as like a manager, is really good, and comedic in that way, because I mean, not a lot of faces have managers, so that really plays out to that whole feel to it.
Yeah. One thing I particularly like, not so much, I mean, I did like the match, but one thing I really did like was the pre-match promo in which Alberto Del Rio ran into Bret Hart. He ran, and pretty much Bret Hart and Del Rio had a little exchange. Bret Hart called Del Rio the Mexican Bret Hart.
Yeah.
And then Del Rio,
somewhat arrogantly,
called Bret Hart the Canadian Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah.
And I'm still kind of glad that Del Rio still has some of that arrogance left over. It's not a complete abandonment of character, which seems to be the norm now in WWE. And just look at The Miz.
There's no real change in who the Miz's character is. It's just in the way he reacts to a certain thing, or who he just faces. That's it. And then I guess it is across the board.
I mean, other than the whole pink and the stink remark that he made about a
month ago, right?
Yeah. I haven't really seen any of the old Miz characters shown in this, new guy that, they try to associate with Ric Flair.
Right.
So I guess, and ironically, I think The Miz turned face before Del Rio, and Del Rio turned face afterwards, and I think Del Rio has been a much more success story.
But there's also the fact that WWE has been touring in the more Hispanic-centric
West Coast.
Yeah. So West Coast, you get a good pop, which I guess the whole nation believes in the fact that he's over. So it continues.
It follows suit.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I thought that was really genius booking on WWE's part. It's not the fact that they actually booked Del Rio to win on the West Coast throughout that whole tour. Every SmackDown he's gotten really good pops. The whole C chant that's starting up, and funny how this all started thanks to the Big Show's ironclad contract.
Which is definitely ironic considering that he dropped the belt because of his real life contract dispute.
Yeah, which it's completely funny. Del Rio retains. Next matchup, it's Team Hell No versus the Rhodes Scholars, and it really surprised me to see Team Hell No retain yet again. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be the Rhodes Scholars that were gonna win this one, and they didn't.
I mean, I thought when during Raw where they had that graduation thing with Dr. Shelby. I mean, I thought it would have been symbolic in some way. Yeah, they graduated, it's over. This this tag team that almost overshadowed that rebuilding tag team division. Yeah, was over, but apparently they kept going. Yeah, so it surprised me too.
Any thoughts?
Well, Daniel Bryan eliminated Kane.
That's in the Royal Rumble match. Just talk about the match right now.
That was a good match.
Did you expect that outcome of Team Hell No retaining?
Oh, no. No. That was unexpected.
Yeah, exactly. Because Daniel Bryan had him in the LaBelle lock or the no lock. And I didn't expect, Sandow to tap out. And he did. And it just came as a surprise to me,
It's a crippler crossface, man.
Yeah, it's been...
He doesn't exist anymore.
Stevie Richards doesn't exist anymore.
No, the crippler crossface. Oh, the move itself.
And even more surprising was that after that match, they had a small promo in which they both got their numbers. And you'd think, there would be another match before the Royal Rumble since, but, just like clockwork, really fast. After that little promo by them, short commercial on, I think, the Be a Star campaign or something like that.
Right.
And next thing you know, it was a Royal Rumble match.
Yeah, but before that, they had a couple of superstars that had these very throwback promos, which I really liked. Yeah. They were short, maybe 10, 15 seconds each. Yeah. But, they all kind of said, oh, I'm going to win it. I'm going to win it. John Cena was there.
Yeah. Right? He was, I think it was the last one.
I think that was Ryback.
Oh, Ryback was the last one. Right.
So you kind of knew something was about to happen.
All that was missing was that old, gold and purple Royal Rumble logo in the background.
Or just assuming the fact that Mean Gene Okerlund is somewhere around there.
Yeah. So it was an obvious throwback to the old, ways of, and that's why I thought, as a matter of fact, I thought they were gonna go with that, and like Cesaro beating Miz, if you look back to the old Royal Rumbles, you really didn't expect people that in the undercard to actually be in the Royal Rumble match. You think those spots would be filled up by other people, but we're gonna get to that right now as we're gonna talk about the Royal Rumble match itself, which was won by John Cena, who eliminated Ryback to win.
Yeah,
Yes, I already see you. Yeah, you just see the reaction on Subway right now. Okay.
It's just like, what?
What's up? What?
That was just very predictable. I mean, even you said it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had this whole little plot twist, like The Rock Punk, and CM Punk was going to lose, and then he enters a Rumble.
Yeah.
Has some mystery entrant, and he takes it.
And
But no, that didn't happen. Ziggler didn't win. Ryback didn't win. Not even Sheamus went back to back. That would have been nice.
Maybe it was predictably unpredictable.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. That's what I'm saying. Now we were talking about Team Hell No and how Daniel Bryan eliminated Kane. Any thoughts on that? You think it's going to lead to them splitting up as a tag team?
They'll tease it up, or they'll build it up. I mean, it's a better way to say it. They'll build it up eventually.
Or you think it was
one
just,
or the other will screw each other out of the tag team titles?
Or do you feel it was just a one-time comedy spot? Because it was just a comedy spot, pretty much, that Kane was holding on to Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was telling him like, "Please, just put me back inside the ring." And
were they
Kane
both corpsing? Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, it's not gonna be like a major feud. It's just gonna be something comical.
So you think by Elimination Chamber they'll lose the straps? Or?
Hopefully.
So okay.
Yeah, I mean they'll definitely lose the pennies, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see it just being like a comical ending. I mean, look how they started off. They kind of inadvertently won the tag team titles. Just
Exactly.
Because I think Kane choke slammed somebody onto Daniel Bryan or something.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's just, they had their ups, now they're going to have their downs in the same sort of fashion.
Yeah. So.
Maybe by Elimination Chamber, I could see a WrestleMania match between them.
Perhaps. And we'll get into further detail on the Royal Rumble, but first of all, we're just going to run down the main event, which is The Rock versus CM Punk. Thoughts on The Rock versus CM Punk?
Subway?
I marked out at the part where Punk pinned Rock. And then I just looked at the clock and it was 8:40. I mean 7:40. It was 7:40.
And you realize...
And then I'm like, where's Vince? Where's Vince?
Yeah.
And, well, what do you know? 3 minutes later, he came out. And I thought it was a Shield. At first, I didn't know it was a Shield. But then I heard the table. I'm like, oh, it's the Shield.
And not to mention Cole squawking every 3 seconds. It's the Shield. It's the Shield.
But it's like, that's a dumb way to do it. It would have been better if he said, oh, who was it?
I mean, no evidence it was a Shield.
Yeah.
Technically.
I mean, shit, if this was going to be the outcome anyways, fuck it. Not have the Shield then, I just think this was an actual, I think this was a good way to trick, most of the, I guess you could say, internet fans,
Right, I mean, it was very meta. I mean, we were like talking about how obvious everything was and how predictable it was. But I mean, even Vince came out and he's like, well, I know that was a Shield. Who are you trying to fool?
Yeah.
So it is kind of playing, it's like a rib on like those internet fans.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm not really happy with the outcome of The Rock winning. Pretty much by pinning CM Punk and being the champion, it's setting up that, long, feared Rock versus Cena 2 match at WrestleMania, and that's something I really don't want to happen. So, I mean, any thoughts?
I mean, this like podcast is called Pipebomb Radio, so it's like a CM Punk like bias, right? But I think it's a good idea to have like The Rock there
as a champion.
Yeah, he can promote. The fact that the title's not there on a regular basis might like hype it up a bit.
Yeah,
kind of bring more prestige to the belts because I mean they're just really thrown around now.
Yeah.
But there was also that leaked poster of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That was The Rock and John Cena and then Brock Lesnar. Yeah. So that makes it a bit more believable. That
Brock Lesnar's probably going to be the third man in the triple threat match or something.
So technically, it's not Rock Cena too.
Which might be a good incentive. I mean, now I'm just trying to be hopeful now that you brought that up. Now I'm just trying to be hopeful. What better way than to get Rock to re-sign for probably more dates than to promise him the belts?
It's true.
So, I don't know, but I don't think so. I think it's just going to be a Cena victory right now. If you were to ask me right now, based on what I saw, it's probably going to be just Cena overcoming the odds, kissing babies, hugging fat chicks as always.
Yeah.
Hey, but at least it wasn't at least they didn't shove it down our throats like they usually do with John Cena. It was
the Money in the Bank thing when he...
Yeah, I mean, this was more like they're trying to build up a little Rocky story,
Yeah. Yeah, the fact that he got buried this whole last year,
Yeah,
and now he's gonna rise from the ashes like a phoenix.
Yeah, but
starting in Phoenix, and you know.
Yeah, and it's not like.
Do you guys think he'll actually keep the belt for a while?
John Cena?
No.
Oh, The Rock?
Yeah.
No, until Mania.
Yeah, I think he's gonna drop it to anybody at Mania. I don't. I think The Rock's movie schedule wouldn't.
There's so many movies coming out.
Yeah.
He's still Hollywood, man.
Yeah.
I just hope CM Punk wins as a face. I would like to see a new top face in the company, and that should be Punk.
Well, that's what it should have been back in 2011, and we still didn't get that.
Hey, thank the click.
Yeah, Think the Click, who didn't show up this time. You know, Diesel had a pretty surprise entrance a few years back, right?
Right.
But notable people that, you know, showed up for this Royal Rumble were Chris Jericho at number 2.
All right, that was unexpected.
Yeah, and who knew that, you know, Chris Jericho would, you know, appear at the Royal Rumble? I mean,
or last for that long. He was almost in there as long as Dolph Ziggler, who was at 1.
Top 6 at the most, right? Top 6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so who knew he would last that long with Ziggler, and then he was eliminated by
Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, with a super kick, which he sold spectacularly.
Sold the same way he sold the bro kick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Another notable entrant, Goldust, who you know
that was entertaining.
Yeah, the whole thing with Cody, especially, you know, the whole
definitely, because I mean, throughout the entire match, it was just Goldust and Cody. So maybe they're hyping something up for a possible WrestleMania match. I mean, there was like talks about it before, but hey, maybe it can happen. I mean, Goldust isn't really on the roster, but maybe they can have him. I mean, they already have a bunch of part-time stars ready for Mania.
Exactly.
Why not throw in another one?
Right. You know, I wouldn't
fill out the mid card. You know.
Yeah.
The mid card WrestleMania events.
And we'll get back to that whole mid card filling up thing, because and finally I think the last legend that was on there was the Godfather, right?
For like a second.
Yeah.
But it was still awesome.
Yeah.
It was funny.
With the Ruts.
Yeah. Came out.
No mention of them, but they were there.
Yeah. There were no hoes. You know, we could say hoes, they can't. But yeah, so pretty much Godfather got eliminated in like less than a second. You know, took off like his fur coat, put it back on, started strutting out again.
But he was happy about it.
Yeah, he was
okay.
happy.
He's the Godfather.
He was happy to be
there. He has
there.
every reason to be happy.
Well, yeah. Funny story is that they want to, rumor mill, they want to sign Papa Shango to a Legends contract. Not really the Godfather, but Papa Shango. So.
Yeah, I thought he was going to come out.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of the Godfather.
Mm-hmm. So who knows what's going to happen. But then again, I think it was uttered by Wade Barrett or something like that. No. Wade Barrett has been doing that joke 3 years in a row.
What happened now?
Because last year when he got injured, he's like, oh, it's going to be me and Papa Shango at WrestleMania, because he got injured
right.
around January as well. But Bo Dallas from NXT made his debut, and he was actually pretty impressive. He kind of lasted longer than most people would expect a rookie, and I stress the word rookie because, you know, they were pretty much stressing that because he managed to eliminate Wade Barrett.
Right.
And Wade Barrett kind of got him out afterwards, and they kind of had like a little contact, you know, a bow hammer by, you know, Wade Barrett to Bo Dallas, and I think that's setting up a feud. And you just hear JBL saying, "Oh, the rookie got knocked out." And
I wonder if Wade Barrett hates rookies as much as Hardcore Holly does.
Yeah, probably. I mean, you think this is a good way though to put someone in the spotlight like Bo Dallas? Or...
I think it's good to fill out that mid card because at this point you have guys that have the potential to get like the top tier belts, you know, the world heavyweight and the WWE. So by kind of throwing in the new guys there, you're ultimately going to fill out the roster in the same way that Cesaro is.
Yeah.
He was, you know, virtually new, but he's still keeping the belt. Barrett has been there for a while, but he hasn't really reached that top yet.
Yeah.
So, but having Bo Dallas in there will kind of make it even. I mean, I don't see it going that far, though.
Yeah.
But, I mean, for the short term, it can help. Because, I mean, otherwise, who do you have? Kofi and then The Miz?
Yeah, and which Kofi had an impressive spot, by the way, as well. He did it again. Yeah, he did it again. You know, he had to he used an announcer's chair.
Yeah, he pogoed
to pogo all the way back inside the ring, which was pretty impressive. But he got thrown out like seconds later after doing that. So.
Like Cody.
Yeah.
Which they heavily booed him.
Yeah, which is good. They were actually heavily booing him. You know, when he eliminated his own brother, Goldust, as well. when he eliminated Kofi. So hope as long as he gets those negative reactions, I see a bright future for Cody Rhodes. And going back to the Bo Dallas versus Wade Barrett feud, do you think this is actually a good idea to push Bo Dallas that soon?
It's a good way to build up the mid-card feuds. You really don't see any of those anymore.
And going back to the rumor mill and the mid-cards and all that, there was so many rumors about, it's going to be Shelton Benjamin, Carlito, that they were going to show up at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and they didn't. Man, that's every year.
Yeah, so
it's just the dirty deeds of the internet.
Like at what point did like old wrestlers like tweets or comments of just no automatically mean yes?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm not going to show up at the Rumble, and they show up.
Yeah. I think Jericho posted like, I'm gonna think about debuting under this other and different name or something like that. I started with a B. I can't remember what it was really.
Bo Dallas?
No.
Yeah, but that's Jericho.
Yeah, exactly.
He's fun.
But people thought that he was just trolling and that he wasn't even going to show up at the Rumble at all. He was just playing around. And
right. Jericho.
He just trolled. He just trolled the troll pretty much. You think there's anything to the fact that Cena eliminated Ryback? Who, by the way, Ryback was getting no reaction whatsoever until it was just him and Cena. And in that case, now he was getting cheered heavily, as he was trying to take Cena out. Any little spot that Ryback would do would emanate loud cheers from the crowd. So, but you think they're setting something up between Cena and Ryback throughout the fact that
I was just hoping that Ryback would go over,
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's disappointing. I mean, they've been building up Ryback the whole 2012, from after September.
Yeah.
That's when they started building him up into the main event card.
Yeah, it was after September. I mean, I guess the whole Ryback thing is just not going to work out. I mean, it just shows you, he's technically feuding with the Shield, but, I would expect something to happen out of that. I was really expecting, going back to the Rock and Punk ending, that, pretty much The Rock gets screwed over by the Shield, and it's this all-star lineup of, The Rock, Ryback, Sheamus against the Shield at WrestleMania or something like that. Right. But no, that wasn't really the fact. Who knows what is going to happen now.
I really don't want to see The Rock and Cena bury the Shield.
That's probably gonna happen.
Probably. I mean, that whole elimination
Chamber.
was the Royal Rumble one with Cena and Ryback. I thought it was just a little significant in Cena's whole thing because Ryback started getting over when Cena was hurt.
Yeah.
So Cena went down, Ryback went up, and all of a sudden you're kind of turning the tables now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's one of those small little details, but they actually it works in the long haul.
Yeah, and I mean, Randy Orton, who said that he needed to win this match, ended up getting eliminated. But who knows if that leads to a heel turn in the future?
Yeah, it's gonna be really anticlimactic.
Yeah,
I mean, almost in the same way that people were talking about the Cena heel turn, that he gets so frustrated and all of a sudden he snaps.
Yeah,
I think that's probably gonna be an Orton thing.
Yeah, so it's probably gonna be given to Orton instead. And so with that, Cena moves on. So obviously Cena doesn't have to worry about the Elimination Chamber. So that advertisement for the match, it's kind of faulty in that way. So with that, we're gonna move on to our last topic. So what happens now, pretty much? Let's just go into the future and see what happens now with the
big WWIFs.
Yeah, exactly.
Wrestling what ifs.
Yeah. So let's say let's plan ahead to Elimination Chamber. What do you guys see? One notable thing that's going to happen at Elimination Chamber.
Ziggler cashing in. That's what I'm looking for. I mean, I thought he was going to cash in today.
Yeah. Well,
that didn't happen. I thought it was. Well, he was one of the Final Four, and that was good.
Hey, Ziggler was one of the Final Four. Not only that, I think that would have been kind of, just using logic, and it's kind of an oxymoron trying to use logic in WWE, right? But using logic, I don't think it would be smart for him to cash it in right now because he knew he would have to defend it at the Elimination Chamber next month. So So it's kind of good for Ziggler to wait, I think. But I do agree with him that he's probably going to cash it in next month.
I think he might even cash it in earlier than that.
You think so?
Yeah.
When?
Tomorrow? Raw Roulette.
Raw Roulette? Oh.
You have the audience, and then ADR got his big pop as a face defending the title.
Yeah.
So you know he has some staying power.
Yeah.
What if Ziggler just cashes it in? All of a sudden he goes to Elimination Chamber, maybe finds some sort of stipulation, or like maybe Big E Langston kind of helps him out throughout there, and just kind of coasts until Mania.
True. That could actually work.
Yeah.
So it's a given Cena's going to be in the main event of WrestleMania now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Cena's safe. What do you see happening to The Rock?
He'll show up every maybe other week via satellite in most cases.
Yeah.
He'll probably promote his movies more often.
Yeah.
He'll be like on late night talk shows promoting his movie, but he'll just have the belt there.
Yeah.
No real mention of it. It'll be a tongue-in-cheek thing.
Yeah.
And then that'll just build up momentum, and it'll have attention.
Yeah.
You'll have more viewers that way, just to see what happens. I mean, almost in the same way that was it 2011 Money in the Bank, that where's CM Punk thing with the belt, maybe this is a more popular, drawn out version of it.
Yeah. More mainstream version of it.
Oh yeah.
What do you see happening to The Rock?
he's gonna be in the main event, of course.
So you think he's gonna make it to the main event?
Yeah.
You think he's gonna make it to the main event with the title? Okay. And you think he's gonna face Cena, or who do you think is his opponent?
Yeah, it's most likely it's going down that road. Unless they do want to continue with the whole Ziggler thing.
Yeah.
They could make Rock and Punk at Mania.
Yeah, that's where I was going. That's where I was going at. I'm gonna go straight out of left field and just say that The Rock is gonna lose that Elimination Chamber. He's gonna lose, and pretty much CM Punk is probably gonna retain the title back. It's probably gonna be Punk and Rock at WrestleMania.
What about Lesnar?
That's the thing. I guess we'll go to him now, because what do you guys see happening with Lesnar? What's Lesnar's match? Because Lesnar's obviously gonna have a match at WrestleMania, but who do you?
Going back to that poster, right?
You think it's gonna be
Rock and Cena doesn't necessarily mean that the belt's gonna be on the line.
Yeah, it could just be them three.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel Lesnar's probably gonna get the Taker match.
I mean, if Taker's still there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, I think they should hold off on Taker, just getting that 21, that blackjack at WrestleMania 30, and just retiring after that, right?
Right.
But if they really want a Taker match, I think the person that's gonna give it to him is Brock Lesnar.
I mean, the only match I would have seen The Undertaker in, what was like CM Punk versus The Undertaker if CM Punk kept the title, so you can have like the WWE Championship streak against the actual streak. That would have been interesting. But other than that, there's no real incentive for The Undertaker to come back.
Exactly. So, so what do you think is going to happen with Brock Lesnar? What's Brock Lesnar's match?
I just hope it's not Triple H.
You think it could probably be Triple H again?
Yeah. Predictability.
Yeah. I might make sense though to actually have him, interfere, let's say at Elimination Chamber, and to build up a match at WrestleMania with Brock Lesnar, because I don't think he has that many dates left. So if they actually push him in, in Elimination Chamber, that means they'll have him for every date that upcoming month and stuff, leading to WrestleMania. So maybe that's why they're holding off on him. That's why he hasn't shown up all those times we thought he was going to show up, whether it was that ambulance match with Brad Maddox, or the Survivor Series
debut,
the Survivor Series match, or even TLC. People thought he was actually going to come out at TLC, but no, he hasn't shown up yet. Feature for, I guess, The Undertaker. Who do you think his opponent is going to be?
Undertaker?
Yeah.
No idea.
No idea at all.
No idea.
You don't even think he's going to wrestle? Or?
Probably not.
Okay.
I see it.
So no Undertaker this year at WrestleMania.
I mean, if that whole triple threat with Lesnar is going to happen, I don't see anything else.
I see.
Ryback
probably?
Maybe, but I've heard Ryback against Big Show at Mania.
Yeah.
Which sounds a bit more exciting.
Yeah. I could actually dig that. Undertaker, you think he's going to have a match or no?
I just don't want him to wrestle anymore. I think he should just call it quits.
Really?
It's time
He's beat up.
I'd say he shouldn't call it quits before WrestleMania 30. I want to see him at WrestleMania 30 at the least, And that's it, pretty much. Wait, CM Punk. What do you see plans for CM Punk future?
Direct alignment with the Shield.
Direct alignment. So it's gonna find
stable finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they could. I mean, maybe you have like subtle creations of like stables because you really have Biggie and AJ and Dolph. Then you have CM Punk and the Shield. Maybe throw in Team Road Scholars and something.
Yeah,
that can work. I mean, just like you almost had a resurgence of tag teams.
Yeah.
Build on that and have this resurgent stable thing,
which could actually work.
Right.
And Ziggler. So you guys think, I don't know, what's the future of Ziggler?
Well, he's gonna cash in, obviously.
So, but you think, I don't know, you think there's any hope of him being in the main event of WrestleMania?
No, he'll be in the opening match for the World Heavyweight title. That's what I like to think.
Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So no main event for Dolph Ziggler, unfortunately.
Not yet, because it's still the World Heavyweight, and
Yeah.
that's usually the opener for pay-per-views.
Less hair product.
Yeah. And I guess the last two people, Randy Orton and Sheamus. What do you guys see for them? You know.
Heel turn for Orton. Sheamus, I'm not sure. He's just been kind of hanging around.
Yeah.
Making a fool out of 3MB just for the sake of building up the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Really don't know. I mean, he can't go get the World Heavyweight Championship at this point since Del Rio's a face, Sheamus is a face, and you usually don't have a face versus face championship matches.
Exactly. No.
You can turn Sheamus heel, but I don't see that happening.
No way. Wouldn't work out, in my opinion. And, so, World Heavyweight Champion, you think it's going to be Ziggler walking into WrestleMania as a World Heavyweight Champion, or you think it's going to be him challenging, let's say, Del Rio?
I see him as champion then.
By then,
yeah.
Right? And same thing?
Same thing.
I don't know. I'm saying I'm going to go against the grain and say that Del Rio's still going to be champion walking into WrestleMania. And that's it. With that, we're going to close off this pipe bomb, but before we leave, we're just going to chill. So...
Okay, if you haven't checked it out, we're on iTunes. Just search up Pipebomb Wrestling Radio. Subscribe, leave a review. We'd love to hear from you. As far as any personal plugs go, Lewis?
You could always follow me on Twitter. I usually live tweet on Raws and usually live tweet on pay-per-views as well. It's twitter.com/LewisCurse. You could also request me on Facebook if you feel like it. I don't really care.
Poke him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Follow me at I am Hector Diaz.
Yeah.
I'm pretty funny.
Go ahead.
Well, you could like us on Facebook
at
Pipebomb Wrestling Radio. It's facebook.com/Pipebomb Wrestling Radio.
Right.
We need more likes, man. We need more followers on our Facebook page.
Yeah, we got a good number.
You gotta give us a motivation to post, because we really don't feel like posting.
You make it happen, people.
I feel like
you make it happen.
At MC Curse.
Yeah, MC Curse. Yeah. That's upcoming though. That's a music project. So stick around for that. Anything else?
You can check out my Bleacher Report articles. Just search up Hector Diaz. It should come up. Follow me on Twitter at I am Hector Diaz, and you can follow the homie Carlos at C Sanchez.
I'll use my Twitter though.
Anybody else want to show? No.
I just want to thank the cast and the crew and everyone here at the studio, showing us fans a good time, and we really
I didn't expect this many girls here though. There's so many girls here.
It really was fun. Thanks guys.
Thank you guys.
Yes, of course. Well, there's plenty of hoes right here. So.
Thank you
Like
guys.
Billy Campos was here.
The Godfather just came by, dropped off some hoes. We're gonna have fun tonight.
As always. And you could also check out my other show, Wolfpack Radio. And
Not as good as this podcast, but
heard it from somebody else.
Good.
Yeah, you heard it from somebody else.
That's a fan opinion.
Yeah,
Friends of the show.
That's opinion, not fact. But yeah, so we'd like to thank you. Hopefully you're stick around for our next Pipe Bomb Radio, and
Wolfpack sucks.
Damn. We'll see you down the road of WrestleMania. That's my other show. Whatever. Okay. Well, thank you. And good night.